Hello guys. So since last time a lot of you gave a lot of love to my video. So here I am again with one of the most basic topic, that is what is intellectual property, and I'm going to explain this to you in very simple manner. Although these notes are not mine, they are from ChatGPT. Whatever I'm going to say, this is for a reference, and other than that, everything would be of my own knowledge. So, yeah, I have been posting about IPR a lot of times. Like, I have posted a lot of stuff since last 1 year, approximately. Not 1 year, but all right. But there are a lot of people who are very newcomer to this field and who are very new to this field who haven't been taught what is IPR or what is intellectual property law in their law school, or even during their practice they might not have that much of knowledge in it, but they are interested in it. So here this is very basic. Like, I'm just going to explain the types and what exactly is intellectual property to make the newcomers understand, or to let everybody have a basic idea of what IPR actually means. This is not for those who have knowledge about it. So you can leave it right now, right here. If you have the most basic knowledge of it, this is not for you. Okay. So let's start with the concept of property. The concept of property in legal jurisprudence is age old. We have the concept of property since Thomas Hobbes' period, when social contract theory, where it was said that people wanted to protect themselves and their property, and for that they gave away their few rights in order to protect that property. So since we have been talking about property, the property that we used to talk at that time is physical property, because that's what we had. But now the time has changed, and since then only we have been progressively talking about something that is our property of our mind. What does intellectual means? Intellectual means something that we have created, that is something that is coming out of our mind, something that is originated from our mind into a physical concept, or not even a physical concept, but an intangible concept which can be seen, feel, sensed, something we can understand that okay, this is something. Like, I am creating this video. So this video is my intellectual property. Although the content over here is not my intellectual property, as it is made up of AI, and that's a whole different topic. But something which I might have written on my own, a poetry maybe, a quote, or even a caption, Instagram caption. If I have written it on my own. That is my intellectual property. And nobody can take it away from me without my consent. Just like taking of land is prohibited, the same way taking up of intellectual property without my consent is also wrong. So that's what intellectual property law is all about. Now let's understand what all comes under these intellectual property. What is constituted to be an intellectual property? The types of intellectual property basically. So the first is copyright. We have heard this a lot, right? YouTube पे copyright आ जाएगा, ये song मत गाओ copyright आ जाएगा, ये quotation use मत करो copyright आ जाएगा, copyright strike आ जाएगा basically. So in research paper also we cannot outrightly go and write somebody else's work, or put somebody else's work and tell it as our own, because of copyright, because that is that person's intellectual property, that is that person's right, that they have put their labor, hard labor, to create something which is in their mind and then give it a physical form. Imagine what kind of magic is that, right? Something is in your head, and then you put some work, and then it is outside. for everybody else to see it. So it requires labor, right? So that's what copyright means. Copyright means protection for creativity. Imagine you're a book writer. Now you had a good plot in your head, a good storyline in your head, and you started writing. You see the blank screen, you started writing. After maybe 6 months or 1 year, you came up with a good 250 pages of book. That book is your prized possession, is your hard labor. Nobody can steal that from you. That is what the protection of that book comes under copyright law. We have a copyright act in place which protect all those things. So what does it protect? It protects literary work, artistic work, cinematographic work, or softwares, many things. So yeah, even software codes, the coding that coders do, even that is protected. The startups must know about this. Okay, so the example given over here is the script of Sacred Games is copyrighted, um, or script of anything basically, any writing, anything which you have written on your own is copyrighted. The lyrics of a song, the the music in the song, the words of the song, the small tune in the song, everything is falling under this law. Next is trademark. Now, trademark trade means commerce, right? Trade means business. So this is business. So this means protection of businesses. Now, how will you protect business? For that, we have other laws, right? Why do we need one more? So protecting the brand name, the logos, the taglines, or even the shape or sounds of a business. Uh, I don't remember, I can't recall any brand name or any such tagline right now. But yeah, logos of many businesses, like logos of Versace, maybe logo of Louis Vuitton. There are different logos, right? No other brand can come and use the exact same logo. Why? Because people will get confused and then they will get to use the goodwill of maybe Louis Vuitton, and let's say someone is Vuitton, and that person will make profit out of the goodwill of Louis Vuitton, because people tend to get confused a lot, basically. So yeah, that is what trademark is for. Example, the Amul logo, the Tata name, or Zomato's red Z are all trademarks. There are their distinct identity. Like your name, if someone is trying to impersonate your name and do some certain things, that is wrong, right? The same way, trademark protects the basic identity. Like the name, your name is your basic identity. Trademark also protect the basic identity of business. Simple. Next is patent. Now, a lot of people say, right? मेरा पेटेंट किया हुआ है, ये तो इसका पेटेंट है. What does that mean? Patent is for protection of inventions. When a scientist or a researcher comes up with some new, novel, useful idea, a useful invention which has not been done yet by the knowledgeable people of that same field, is of some use, some great importance. That thing, that invention, or that procedure is protected, and that protection comes under patent. Okay, patents are for 20 years, copyrights are for 60 years plus lifetime plus 60 years of the um, author, basically. But patents are usually for 20 years and it can be renewed for 10 more years. Then we have GI, geographical indications. They are basically rights of a particular place. Let's say a particular place is famous for one certain thing. That place has a right to protect that particular famous thing. The first GI that India got was Darjeeling tea. Now we all know the tea in Darjeeling is very famous. So, in order to protect the reputation of that tea, in order to restrain others from using that name and making, unjust profit, this protection is given. Okay. Banarsi sari, we have a lot of GI. We have a lot of GI. Mysore silk, Mysore pak, a lot of things are there. So this is what it is. Now trade secrets. Protection for confidential information. Trade secret as name suggests, again, trade means something related to business and secret means a secret of a business. So there is no such particular statute in India regarding trade secrets, okay? However, trade secrets can be protected through contracts. The clauses of contract are put in place to protect the trade secrets. So, trade secrets cannot be registered, but let's say I own a company, I have a distinct recipe for my cakes. I have a distinct recipe for my cakes. I have four more employees working with me who has to know the recipe of the cake. What I can do is, in order to protect that recipe is my trade secret. In order to protect and not let my competition know about it and protect my profits out of it, I can come into a contractual obligation with those four employees and ask them to not share my trade secret even after they leave the employment or even after they leave the job. So that is what trade secret is. Like the formula of Coca-Cola, we all know they have a distinct formula, nobody knows about it. World's most famous trade secret, see? And yeah, that's what it is. Why it matters? Why IP matters? Think about it. Think about it. Why it matters? Imagine you created something. You spend day and night on creating it. And then suddenly one stupid fellow came off and then just robbed it from you, used his name, and then got more popularity or more profit from that thing than you. Imagine how would you feel? You would feel bad. To protect that, to have legal repercussion for that, to have legal liabilities for that, we have IP law in place. Simple as that. To build brands trust. Now, these are all fancy words, but the major idea, the primary, most basic idea for IP law is to protect your work, your mind's hard work, basically to build brands trust, of course, goodwill are there in place. You cannot just go on and pretend to be somebody else and then use their name and make profit out of it, of course, right? Encourages innovation. Now, one more reason for IP is to patent law basically is that it encourages innovation. Now, how does it do that? There is some profit attached to it, right? You are restraining others from making it. You are the sole person who is allowed to make something. So that will obviously give you more benefit, right? Monopoly. It will create a monopoly for a limited years. But yeah, for that time, you would be the sole person who would have the rights and it boosts the economy. Of course, they see China is the one country right now who has maximum number of IPR registered. India is growing, still growing. We have less number of patents. We are growing. So that's how it the startup that we are building, the startup culture that we are building, the unicorns that we are coming up in startup, we are observing them. Those things are protected through IP law, and that's how they grow. So, in correlation, our economy also grows. You can read the final takeaways and all those things, right? So, yeah, for now, this is the basic introduction to what is IP law and what does it actually does and why it matters. Later on, I'll be bringing more such videos on one each aspect, each type of IP law, and how it function, and more practical tips related to it, and how to guides like how to register, how to file, how to search, and all those things. That's a different topic altogether. So yeah, for now, I hope you like the video. I'm very sorry for any kind of disturbance or any kind of annoyance you found in this video. I'm very new to this. So yeah, thank you so much. Have a nice day or night, whatever. It is night right now when I'm filming it. So good night.